Have you ever found yourself stuck in a never-ending cycle of bad habits? Perhaps you spend countless hours scrolling through social media or indulging in junk food. Or maybe your habits are more serious, like smoking or drinking. Breaking a habit can feel like an impossible feat, but with the right understanding and tools, it's possible to take control of your behavior. Habits are formed in our brains through neural pathways. Every time we perform a particular behavior, the neural pathway associated with that behavior is strengthened. This is why habits can be so challenging to break. Our brains have literally been rewired to make that behavior automatic. But did you know that habits have evolutionary advantages? Our brains are constantly processing information from our environment, and every decision we make requires mental effort. By automating certain behaviors, our brains can free up cognitive resources to focus on other, more pressing matters. In essence, habits allow us to conserve cognitive resources. However, the reward system in our brains can also work against us. Dopamine, a neurotransmitter that plays a crucial role in motivation, reward, and pleasure, is released whenever we engage in behaviors that activate the dopamine reward system. This is why high-calorie foods, drugs, and other pleasurable activities can be so addictive. Our brains become wired to seek out these pleasurable experiences. To break a negative habit, it's essential to understand the role of dopamine in habit formation. By replacing the negative behavior with a more positive one that still activates the dopamine reward system, we can gradually rewire our brains and create new, healthier habits. One common habit that many people struggle with is social media addiction. The root of the problem lies in the brain's dopamine reward system. Whenever we engage in activities that bring us pleasure, such as scrolling through social media, our brain releases dopamine, which makes us feel good. Over time, our brain becomes wired to seek out these pleasurable activities, and we may find ourselves constantly reaching for our phones to check social media. To overcome social media addiction, it's essential to understand the power of the dopamine reward system. By recognizing that social media is triggering our brain's reward center, we can take steps to rewire our brains and break the addiction cycle. This can involve limiting social media use, finding alternative sources of pleasure, and practicing mindfulness and other forms of self-care. Porn addiction is another serious problem that can hijack the brain's reward system. The prefrontal cortex, a critical part of the brain involved in decision-making, impulse control, and other important cognitive functions, can become weakened, leading to difficulties in controlling urges and making rational decisions. However, there are ways to strengthen the prefrontal cortex and regain control. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a type of talk therapy that can help individuals with porn addiction to identify and change negative thought patterns and behaviors. By learning to recognize and challenge their automatic thoughts and beliefs, individuals can gain greater control over their impulses and make more informed decisions. Mindfulness meditation is another effective way to strengthen the prefrontal cortex. Regular mindfulness practice can lead to increases in gray matter volume in the prefrontal cortex, as well as improvements in executive function and self-control. Practicing mindfulness involves focusing on the present moment and observing one's thoughts and feelings without judgment. This can help individuals with porn addiction to become more aware of their triggers and cravings and to develop healthier coping mechanisms. Breaking any habit is a journey, and it takes time and effort to make lasting changes. But with the right tools and support, it is possible to regain control of your behavior and live a healthy, fulfilling life. So if you're struggling with a habit that's holding you back, remember that there is hope. If you like this content, then subscribe to this channel and adios.